A very good evening and a warm welcome to our first edition of UBC News Tonight on this 31st day of October 2024. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto and my colleague Mohammed Mugalu on Sign Language Interpretation. We do welcome you. But before we get into the news tonight, let's first take a look at the top stories. In our top stories tonight, Prime Minister Nabanja commissions business center in Dubai. Minister Mayanja faces off Major General Eli Kayanja over illegal evictions. Bugisu coffee farmers protest UCDA merger with MIFE. And East African MPs adopt resolution to enhance regional water transport. Good evening once again and welcome. President Museveni has accepted an invitation from his Egyptian counterpart, His Excellency Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, to attend the Nile Basin States Summit in Cairo next year. The Egyptian president's invitation was formally delivered by Dr. Badru Abdelati, Egypt's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Immigration and Egyptian expatriates, whom President Museveni received today at State House in Entebbe. This summit, as the highest decision-making body of the Nile Basin Initiative, is seen as crucial for addressing political issues and coordinating the effective management of the basin's water resources. The gathering will bring together 11 heads of state from the Nile Basin countries, including Egypt, Ethiopia, Sudan, South Sudan, Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, Eritrea, Tanzania, Burundi, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. In their meeting, President Museveni underscored his perspective on the region's core issues. Recalling data from 1964, Museveni highlighted a significant reduction in water flow from Uganda to South Sudan, which has decreased from 60 billion cubic meters to 40 billion cubic meters due to reduced rainfall. He also expressed frustration with the pace of discussions. Now, on his part, Dr. Badru Abdelati conveyed President el-Sisi's message, noting that he will be delighted to receive President Museveni in Cairo.
Are really two. Number one is the underdevelopment in the tropics. Mm-hmm. If you maintain underdevelopment in the tropics, backwardness, you have two problems. You have the problem of primitive agriculture, where people are just misusing the land and the water and the water bodies because they don't know what to do. In that way, the fellahin here invade the wetlands, what they call wetlands. What they call wetlands are actually tributaries of the Nile. Now, when they invade them and grow crops there, then they destabilize the rain system in the tropics. So, problem number one, which I told Boutros long ago, was the tropics must undergo socio-economic transformation so that the big part of the population does not depend on agriculture. They shift to industry and services and so on, and leave a few people in agriculture.
Our private sector is very keen and are keen to invest, to inject more investment here in Uganda in order to further strengthen and deepening our cooperation. On the political level, hopefully we would like to have a ministerial joint committee in order to follow up with the implementation of how to further enhance our cooperation. I was talking with my dear brother, hopefully to receive him and the Minister of Water Resources to come to Cairo in December in order to talk about specific projects on the ground with mutual benefits for Uganda and for Egypt. We have a capital of $600 million as a start.
Uganda has opened a business center in Dubai to facilitate Ugandan businessmen between Uganda and investors from the United Arab Emirates. The business center is located at Fairmont Hotel in Dubai. The Prime Minister of Uganda, Robina Nabanja, commissioned the center this afternoon to promote trade between Uganda and the United Arab Emirates.
The government of Uganda has established a business center which is expected to facilitate the business community between Uganda and the United Arab Emirates. This afternoon, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robina Nabanja, on behalf of the President, commissioned the business center at Fairmont Hotel in Dubai.
Let Ugandans enjoy this office. Let us benefit as an economy. Let us have businesses between Uganda and Dubai. Thank you.
Earlier, the Prime Minister addressed the business community and the prospecting investors from Dubai.
Uganda is gifted by nature with beautiful people, with fertile soils, where anything can grow without irrigation. Uganda is naturally green, year in, year out.
Ugandan Premier is accompanied by the State Minister for Foreign Affairs, John Mulimba, Secretary to Treasury, Ramadhan Gobi, NSSF Managing Director, Patrick Ayota, and Uganda's Ambassador to the United Arab Emirates, Zake Wanumekibedi, among other government officials.
And so those who want to invest in Uganda, these are the areas. Agricultural value addition, mineral value addition, oil and gas. We also can have infrastructure development. We've already talked about tourism, manufacturing, social services, that's telecoms, logistics, and ICT.
Minisita Nabanja awerekeddwako Minisita omubeezi w'ensonga z'ebweru John Mulimba, omuteesiteesi omukulu mu Minisitule y'ebyensimbi Ramadhan Gobi.
Apologies for that. Now, the Director General of the National Agriculture Research Organization, Dr. Yona Baguma, has raised concerns over salary disparities among senior agriculture researchers, an issue he says is causing many to leave the organization for better paying opportunities, jeopardizing critical research initiatives. Dr. Baguma was addressing a team of delegates from the Ministry of Public Service, led by the Permanent Secretary, who had gone to pay a courtesy visit to the institution.
A delegation from the Ministry of Public Service, led by the Permanent Secretary Catherine Bitarakwata Msingwiri, visited Nile to review the various agriculture innovations developed by the Institute. The delegation was given a guided tour, starting at the National Livestock Resources Research Institute, where notable projects such as the tick vaccines are in development, and continuing to the National Crops Resources Research Institute, where crop varieties are being enhanced. While addressing the delegation, The Director General Nile, Dr. Baguma, appealed to the Ministry of Public Service to address the salary disparities affecting Nile's senior researchers, noting that current gaps are delaying or even halting essential projects due to a shortage of experienced personnel.
When you find what is referred to as a senior principal research officer in Nile, it means actually you are interfacing with a professor in the university. However, between the senior principal research officer in Nile and the professor in the university, there is a wide salary disparity. And this triggers migration of staff from Nile to universities. I want to register with deep appreciation, but on the other hand, with deep concern that a number of staff are leaving in Nile to migrate into the universities.
Dr. Baguma explained that despite the ongoing innovations aimed at bolstering the country's socio-economic development, Nile is hindered by wage gaps, impacting its ability to retain talent and drive its research agenda forward.
We have a gap. We have a gap in wage of 21.2 billion. We feel it is extremely critical. I don't want to say urgent, but critical, that we find ourselves with that wage to be able to fill up the establishment. Innovation is a function of people. And at the moment, we are highly constrained that of the establishment that we have with us, we have a gap to the level of 403 staff.
In response, Permanent Secretary Catherine Bitarakwate praised Nile's innovations, stating that they align with the nation's vision for socio-economic progress towards the 2040 agenda.
This tour has been extremely interesting and an eye-opener because we have been given permission to see how the vaccines are being done. But the tick vaccine, taken through the basics that any layperson can understand.
Bitarakwate acknowledged the challenges faced by Nile and assured that the ministry would review the current pay structure, aiming to create a fair and competitive environment that supports and retains the country's top researchers.
And what we are going to do is provide them with technical staff to do functional analysis and then break down the problem into bite-sized portions, the short term, medium term and the long term, so that the most critical stuff can be filled within the short term, then the others come on later.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
UBC News tonight. Now, Uganda is expected to face continued outbreaks of epidemics in the foreseeable future. This is according to Dr. Daniel Chabayinze, the Director, Public Health at the Ministry of Health. Dr. Chabayinze's forecast is based on several factors, including population growth, competition for scarce resources, food scarcity, and living in congested settings, among others. He shared these insights at the dissemination of research findings titled Reflections and Policy Implications of the Indirect Impacts of COVID-19 on the Health System of Uganda.
The research analyzed the direct impact of COVID-19 pandemic to Uganda's healthcare system in 2021 and 2022, focusing on healthcare professionals in the formal sector and their experience throughout the 12 months of the pandemic.
Because as we heard, the healthcare workers were essential workers. They had to keep on working throughout the pandemic. So it made sense to do the study focused on their experiences only. Now, why now? Part of this is logistical. The pandemic is over, thank God. We don't have to worry about it now. But the lessons that were learned could never be, they don't expire because pandemics keep happening. So if we have an opportunity to learn from what went well to begin with, anything that was done very well to contain the pandemic, and those can be replicated in future when the next emergency strikes, because it will. It may not be tomorrow, it will come at some stage.
An interdisciplinary team of researchers from the Royal Holloway University of London with Makerere Lang Institute and Makerere University Business School collaborated on the study. Their goal was to support the future recovery strategies by providing insights and policy recommendations that emphasize the importance of pandemic planning, preparedness, and management.
And outbreaks are going to happen, I can guarantee. Why will outbreaks continue to happen? The population is growing, the need for resources is increasing, we are encroaching on the environment, human beings are beginning to live where animals used to live because of pressure. We are beginning to eat everything available for eating, so we are going to start picking diseases which are spillovers from the wild animal. Secondly, we are not managing our environment appropriately, so it is easy for us to infect. So scientists and researchers don't take anything to be so light, not actually to inquire or even research on. You will never know when that information will be useful to save mankind.
The study findings reveal that despite facing considerable challenges, Uganda's COVID-19 response demonstrated some positive outcomes.
As you noted, there were no drugs at the beginning, and the only thing you could do is to identify these people and separate them from the public and support them as they recover. Yeah, but right now I think we have benefited a lot from the COVID pandemic in terms of knowledge and the level of organization.
However, the findings underscore the pressing need for better logistical coordination and equitable resource distribution, and they also emphasize the sector's ability to adapt under crisis conditions. Dennis Igor and Juman Samba for UBC News.
Now, women market vendors in Kampala, under their association dubbed Yellow Women, have endorsed President Yoweri Museveni as the sole candidate for the 2026 general elections. This was during their belated Independence Day celebrations held at Chibuye Playgrounds here in Kampala. We have the details.
The event attracted several local leaders, market leaders in Kampala, and was presided over by the vice chairman of the National Resistance Movement Party, Alhaji Moses Chigongo. The NRM party supporters who turned up for this event began by conveying their appreciation for the leadership President Museveni has offered to the country.
President waffe omulungi bwe yajja mu buyinza abakyala twava nnyo mu biyungu emirembe ngirabyeko egiwere egy'aba presidents naye tetulabangayo ku president bwe tukkiririzaamu ng'ono naye n'atukkiririzaamu ng'abakyala.
If the husband is good and responsible, why won't you stay? That is exactly the message these women have given about President Museveni.
In his remarks, the NRM Vice Chairman Alhaji Moses Chigongo warned the party supporters against political violence.
Politics okubuguumirira tumugendeko mpola naye kisinza okuleeta obuzibu oli bw'abeera wa movement yeerowooza nti byonna bimanyi.
He assured the party supporters that the NRM government is committed to creating a peaceful and stable country for all Ugandans.
Tuzze wano okubeekinga sure nti Uganda eddamu okutambula obulungi Uganda babeere nga balina emirembe gyabwe.
The resident city commissioner for Kampala, Asimwe Jane Mohindo, says they are going to hit the ground to ensure that they reorganize the leadership of the markets in Kampala with the aim of ironing out the challenges the vendors are facing.
Because government has put all means, government has constructed markets, but how do we ensure, we as KCCA and other stakeholders, to ensure that we get the intended mission of these markets, because government spent a lot of money in these markets. By whatever means, we have to ensure that we resolve the issues.
In the previous election, the NRM party struggled to gain support in Central Region, and this endorsement of President Museveni is a sign that the party is gradually gaining ground in the region ahead of the next general elections. Diano Olwen Peters, Rebecca Nantongo, UBC News.
UBC News tonight. Now, the Lira municipality team, led by Mayor Julius Mutebi Nsubuga, is urging the Minister of State for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, to intervene in the ongoing land disputes in Bindo, as he previously promised residents. The call comes after reports emerged of men arriving with graders, demolishing properties and claiming authorization through a letter from the minister. Minister Mayanja, however, denied these claims, maintaining that his original directive still stands, allowing residents to use the land while investigations continue.
In January, Minister Mayanja wrote to Brigadier Henry Soke, head of the State House Anti-Corruption Unit, addressing a long-standing dispute in Chadondo County, Wakiso District, specifically in Block 182 in Bindo, claimed by General Eli Kayanja. Around the same time, the Commissioner of Land Registration, Mr. Baker Mugaino, directed that titles for the land be recalled for correction, noting illegalities linked to the Department of Surveys and Mapping. Minister Mayanja assured residents they could continue using the land as investigations progressed.
The survey and mapping have done their work. We have passed over the report to the Commissioner of Land Registration. And now the next thing will be for the report to come to the ministers and to our other agencies working with the State House Anti-Corruption. We gloss them over, understand the recommendations and the results arrived at, and then move to Bindo to make sure that whatever has been technically cleared as a result on the ground as related to the titles is now the one implemented.
The minister clarified that he issued no new letter insisting that residents maintain their land rights until further notice.
I just heard the other day that bulldozers have gone again to the land, that people's houses have been smashed. I consulted to find out what has happened. How could this happen when we put a stay until the report is out? So what is there now is not what is supposed to be. And we are consulting with other organs to make sure that that situation is normalized.
Mayor Julius Mutebi Nsubuga expressed shock, noting that despite awaiting clear orders from the minister, they found graders had begun demolishing properties, blocking access to the site with a gate and heavy equipment.
The people who are claiming that they bought the land are the ones who first got the report. And once they got the report, anything else was none of their business. They did not wait for the minister to come back. They did not wait for the minister's communication to the community. They again descended on these people's property, destroyed the houses, destroyed the trees, the gardens, everything.
Affected residents voiced concerns, calling upon Minister Mayanja to revisit the area and uphold his commitment. They reported that graders arrived at 4 a.m., catching them unaware.
We are suffering, we are sleepless, we cannot rest. We have got our assets, we have got all the titles.
The conflict began a year ago when retired UPDF General Eli Kayanja claimed ownership of the land. However, Kayanja has since distanced himself from the recent demolitions. Yoweri and Proscovia Chontawaire for UBC.
As debate continues over the National Coffee Amendment Bill 2024, NRM political aspirants are urging members of parliament to engage coffee growers and key stakeholders on the proposed integration of the Uganda Coffee Development Authority into the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. They emphasize that this briefing is essential to ensure farmers understand the rationale and do not feel sidelined by the reconstructuring.
NRM political aspirants from Kawempe South have joined the ongoing discourse surrounding the Ugandan National Coffee Bill 2024. Over the weekend, President Museveni emphasized that Uganda's coffee success stems from wider government efforts rather than the UCDA's work alone. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Peter Mayiga, recently stated that Buganda Kingdom does not support the bill.
UCDA's role is to render advice regarding farming methods, minding the quality of the crop on the farm, and after harvest, to increase the quantity of the crop produced. If one wants the coffee farmer to earn as much as possible from his or her coffee, one needs to retain UCDA.
Leading the NRM aspirants, Faith Subi, asserted that Uganda's coffee sector belongs to all Ugandans and must be managed in the best interests of the people.
I agree with His Excellency the President of Uganda to continue with the mission of adding Uganda Coffee Development Authority to the Ministry of Agriculture. Nayenza kyenkubiriza ababaka baberenga we baba banonywa bululu babukozese bulungi baleme kuwuddisa muntu asookerwako.
Aspirants believe that MPs should consult with stakeholders to better understand their concerns before proceedings.
Ugandans, you can come up. Understand these people, what they are doing.
Siwenga opposition agamba nti program ya government yeno mujitambulireko tekiriyo. Soboka wakanya.
Chairman of Greater Iganga Farmers Cooperatives expressed no objection to the President's proposal, acknowledging coffee's significance in his life as a farmer.
Nze n'emwani yenasomera era emwani neyasoka okungulira ekitabo ebisika byanga bya flamingo.
Coffee farmers from Chichusa in Nakaseke district have expressed their concerns about government's decision to scrap off Uganda Coffee Development Authority in the current exercise to merge its agencies and departments to line ministries. Some of them support the decision, while others argue oppositely that this could harm Uganda's coffee sector. This was during the engagement with officials from State House in Poverty Alleviation Department to discuss its progress and challenges.
Currently, there is a public debate surrounding government's plan of rationalizing its agencies and departments that are seeming to be carrying out related activities to merge them with the line Ministry of Agriculture. However, the proposed bill to merge Uganda Coffee Development Authority to the mother Ministry of Agriculture has significantly created a concern. The Buganda Kingdom, through its Katikro, was among those who expressed its disapproval of the proposal.
Vis-a-vis the role of coffee. So UCD actually needs more support. And I read in the papers that the matter will be revisited in 2027. And if they decide to phase out UCD in 2027, I think the government will have made its biggest mistake.
On the same cause, coffee farmers in Chichusa, Nakaseke district have shared views on the proposed bill. Ronald Musoke says that the authority has been instrumental in educating them about coffee farming, especially concerning pest management and harvest time.
UCD ebadde ekoze bulungi. Lwaki? Nti ekyamazima ebadde ekola omulimu munene okujja okutusomesa ennima y'emmwanyi, ennoga n'ennyanika yaazo.
He says if the authority is taken away, the ministry may not provide the same level of support like the authority.
Nze mbadde ngamba esigalewo kubanga bwe bagigatta mu kirala osanga ate tuyinza okufiirwa nga kiri ekirala kye bagitaddemu kiina emirimu mingi.
However, Mzee Sulaiman Tibaweswa and Semiano, also coffee farmers, have their different opinions.
Kyali badde kirungi kigatte mu kitongole ekirala kyeraba nti kisobola okukola obulungi. Sirabawo buzibu bwonna kubanga omuntu wa bulijjo talina kyabadde afuna mu kitongole ekyo.
Njagala okwekatali president ku kyayogedde nti okuvaawo kwakyo sikina mbuzi kubanga ddala singa okutya kwe kusuula akatale k'emmwanyi n'omukulu agamba akatale kana kikakyukako.
This was during the engagement with officials from State House Poverty Alleviation Department that was led by the head of department, Joan Kakwenzire. Joan Kakwenzire expressed her pleasure that PAD initiative is improving the living conditions of the people in Chichusa and pledged to lobby for more support.
The farmers of Chichusa Model Parish, which is a presidential model parish, started in the year 2008. They called me to update me on their successes, their challenges, and to share the way forward.
Suleiman Walusimbi, the head of communication at PAD, enlightens the purpose of the engagement, highlighting the President's initiative to uplift people from poverty. During the meeting, locals requested that they be provided with security in the area to curb theft.
Bugisu Coffee Farmers and Bugisu Cooperative Union, BCU Elders Forum, have protested the ongoing move to merge Uganda Coffee Development Authority, UCDA, with the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. The coffee stakeholders that gathered at BCU headquarters in Mbale City expressed that UCDA plays a pivotal role in ensuring quality, retail coffee farmers, source for coffee market, among others, which if merged with the Ministry of Agriculture, the farmers are set to lose out on quality assurance, hence calling upon government to revise the proposal.
Stakeholders that among others include farmers and Bugisu Cooperative Union Elders Forum have expressed discontent on the government's proposal to rationalize Uganda Coffee Development Authority into the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries under the rationalization of government agencies arrangement.
We are here to show our dissatisfaction to the controversial coffee bill of 2024. As younger generations, we are not going to accept the coffee bill.
We are saying no monopoly to our coffee because that coffee has raised many of us because we have even gone to school because of coffee.
According to Professor Patrick Kiboma, the chairperson Bugisu Cooperative Union Elders Forum, the merging of UCDA is set to retard coffee business in the country. And as Bugisu Cooperative Union, custodian of coffee in Bugisu, strongly protests the move.
We BCU Elders Forum, on behalf of coffee, Bugisu coffee farmers, oppose the merging of UCDA with the Ministry of Agriculture. If it is the question of reducing costs by government, UCDA should be funded by cooperatives and coffee dealers through paying cess fees.
UCD has ensured the quality of coffee through empowerment of extension workers, who severally have in turn reached local farmers and provided them with knowledge on coffee growing.
Uganda Coffee Development Authority is the only one that can ensure quality, right from all the value chain, the value addition chain. It has managed right from the nursery bed up the time when the coffee is taken.
UCDA was introduced in Uganda. We are now having a patronage of over 4,000 per year, whereby a farmer is earning over 12 million.
Professor Kiboma also highlighted that like other coffee growing countries, Uganda should also give an independent body that handles coffee if the countries realize profits from this crop.
Many producing countries in the world have autonomous specialized institutions which manage their coffee industry. E.g., Kenya has coffee board. Brazil, which is the largest coffee producer in the world, has Brazilian Coffee Institute.
The abolishing of UCDA stems from the proposed rationalization of government agencies, where the Coffee Bill 2024 was tabled before the Parliament and it is currently on the first reading, awaits for the second.
There is only one rule you must follow in order to be a winner. Number one, defeat the undefeatable. You, step forward. I want you to box the air until it falls down. I'm not seeing it falling in. You see it falling in. Box, winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Honorable Fred Byamukama, Minister of State for Works and Transport in charge of transport, invites you to the launch of the 4-acre model campaign in the Greater Chibale District's Bunyoro sub-region. The event will take place at Chikwaya Primary School Playground, Kakumiro District on November 15th, 2024, starting at 10 a.m. and will be graced by His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni. All residents, civil servants and the leaders from the districts that make up Greater Chibale, Kakumiro, Chibale, Kagadi, Chikube and neighboring areas are encouraged to attend in large numbers. This initiative, led by the President, aims to bring ordinary people into the money economy by showcasing farmers who have succeeded in the 1-acre model, 2-acre model, 3-acre model and 4-acre model. Join local leaders and residents in learning how small land can be used to enhance food security and socio-economic growth. Don't miss this opportunity to witness the transformative impact on local communities.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mold Technologies, your professional research firm.
Welcome back from that break, and we're glad that you're still with us. Now in more news this evening, the Parliamentary Committee on Environment and Natural Resources has discovered that the newly acquired equipment at Kilembe Mines is depreciating. This after government terminated the concession agreement of Tibet Hima Mining Company, a Chinese firm which was tasked to revive Kilembe Mines. The Committee of Parliament concluded its tour in Kilembe Mines, where Kasese district leaders urged that a new investor is identified to proceed with the mining in the area. The Chief Accounting Officer of Kasese district, Elias Byamungu, tipped the MPs that the matter between government and Tibet Hima Company be settled outside court.
The contention started after government terminated the concession agreement of Tibet Hima Mining Company from developing Kilembe mines in Kasese district. The Chinese firm petitioned relevant authorities, including court and parliament, criticizing the action of stopping the 25-year concession. The Parliamentary Committee on Environment and Natural Resources, led by Soroti City East MP Herbert Ariko, engaged the petitioners, caretakers of Kilembe mines, and some of the Kasese district leaders to add value to their investigations.
They desire that this strategic asset of the country must be harnessed for purposes of developing Uganda, for purposes of improving the Human Development Index of this country by way of economic growth.
The district leaders informed the MPs how the disagreement has hindered social and economic development of the district, where over 800 former workers of Kilembe mines are stranded.
So I think it is not too late. The issue is the issue of capacity. I see an issue of capacity and a bit of carefree attitude. It's as if the other cooperated without not real tough hand.
The leaders, led by the Chief Accounting Officer Elias Byamungu, And the district chairperson, Bwambale Genesis, asked the opposing parties to settle the matter outside court.
Because like I said, when it goes into commercial courts and international rules are applied, everybody will be found with a fault.
Our prayer as a district is that this committee should quicken its steps in ensuring that meaningful and actionable recommendations are reached so that there is a fair play.
The committee listened to the two parties, including caretakers of Chilembe Mines and Tibet Hima Mining Company, as both accused each other.
I don't know why we are included in this issue of unlawful and unjust termination. I know we are signatories to the concession, but Mr. Chairman, this is a legal matter. It is beyond Chilembe. The person would look at is the Attorney General, whether it was unlawful or unjust.
For example, the water never stop, and the people drinking the clean water from Chilembe. Now they say they don't have water, I don't know. Now the power, whatever situation, the power we are repaired and so on, we given. So that they say there's no power, that nobody can drink in clean water. I don't understand. But for us, when we're there, we do our best.
MP Herbert Ariko says the newly installed equipment at Chilembe Mines by Tibet Hima Company is degenerating, urging that solutions are long overdue.
So we believe that there is an opportunity for discussion. We believe that the differences were rather more of a personal nature than those that were based on legal transgression of the agreement.
Recently, the Minister of State for Finance, in charge of privatization and investment, Evelyn Anite, told the MPs that on advice of the Attorney General, no matter is before court. On Thursday morning, the MPs on this committee held a closed-door meeting with the Attorney General at Parliament. Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Guitabinji, UBC News.
Members of the East African Legislative Assembly have passed a motion urging East African community ministers to enhance maritime transport and development of the blue economy. The resolution overwhelmingly passed by the Regional House was hinged on the argument that water transport is the cheapest and safest means of transport in the region. The motion was moved by Kenyan legislator Ole Sankok and seconded by his colleague Kennedy Kalonzo Musyoka at a sitting held in Kampala.
Part of the reasoning by these regional legislators was this.
Using the Lira and water is one of the ways of how we can lower the cost of doing business.
It is only South Sudanese who are aware that we are producing enormous fish that we cannot utilize because we are not connecting and we are not utilizing the EAC corridors.
That time had come for East African community member states to make full use of their water bodies for development purposes.
There is a blue economy strategy of the EAC of 2021 to 2025. I think there is need to interrogate that strategy, to look at the implementation of that strategy and see where we have gone.
You know, annually there is a loss of life, 5,000 East African, I think it's approximate that number, lose their life when they...
The costs incurred in repairing other transport infrastructures.
If we can have, because we have always have peace mission of our armies, going to Somalia, going to DRC, we can also contribute 2% of our armed forces. They are specialized to make us jumpstart the blue economy in our region.
Many of us have always heard of Egypt and the River Nile and all the tourists that go to Egypt to be on the river. We have rivers that we can use for the same. Again, I don't know why we're importing fish. Yesterday I ordered a fish which I struggled to eat. So I know there is enough fish to feed the EAC region. but yet we are not utilizing our resources. Why can't we export, for example, mukeke?
It is an idea that was argued, sold and bought by all regional parliamentarians present. The motion was then passed.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
If you read the strategy very well, it shows you that actually if we invested more in the blue economy, just that Lake Victoria alone, is capable of financing all the budgets
was then passed. Lake Victoria, the largest freshwater body in the region, is shared across 3 countries, Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania. This could enhance regional connections, which now remains a task left for the East African Council of Ministers. Henry Okrut, UBC.
The Minister of State for Youths, Balam Barugahara, has called upon youths in Luwero district in particular and Ugandans in general to desist from supporting the Ugandan opposition parties, which he says are ideologically bankrupt. The Minister of State for Youths made the call while leading the Ndeje Town Council Community's self-help cleanup exercise in preparation for the President's visit to the area. President Yoweri Museveni is slated to visit Honorable Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa's Kabuye Ndeje residence in Luwero district on Saturday, 2nd November 2024, where he will be the chief guest at the ceremony to officially canonize Energy Minister Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa, who was recently bestowed upon the title lay canon in the Church of the Province of Uganda.
Receiving over 80 youth who crossed from NOP party to NRM, Balam Barugahara says that the Ugandan opposition has no clear vision for Uganda, hence doesn't deserve the support of Ugandans.
Museveni oye! Oye! PRU oye! Oye! Ababade munupu mwenda base mwenyale oye! Kawira amanyi mukibi. Ababade munupu base mwenyale oye! Saisanya kubala bawange Ndeje. Tisawa okutongoza obulungi bwansi. Nga tegekera okukyala kwa president. Agenda okubeera wano ku lunaku olw'omukaaga. Nina bamaama abaali gangama bandaze ekkubo era batugambye tujoyininge muzeeyi era tujoyininze muzeeyi n'ekiboozi
Katika South, NRM flag bearer Patricia Magara says the cleanup has been necessary because even when some people are receiving an ordinary visitor, they first clean up.
Ono abaka bwefube owokukuuma ekibuga nga kiyonjo ne wetukolera ne wetuliira nga wayonjo naye mu kyo tukikoze luno kusoosowaza enteekateeka za owekitiibwa President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni agenda okujja nga naku z'omwezi 2 omwezi guno ogutandika ogwa Novemba ng'ajjanga omugenyi omukulu ewa Honorable Ruth Nankabirwa Segujja wano Endeje.
Patricia Magara calls upon all Greater Luwero people to turn up in large numbers to welcome the president and to vote for only strong and developmental-minded leaders in the upcoming NRM primaries.
Tusitule NRM yonna ejjerabe ku ssentebe waayo ate ow'okuntiko. So n'olwekyo kyekitu fenna kitukuŋŋaanyiza wano tufunye n'omukisa nti owekitiibwa Balam Barugahara naye atwegasseeko olwaleero nga tutongoza okuyonja ekibuga Ndeje.
Energy Minister Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa is a strong pillar in the Church of Uganda. Preparations to have her canonized are in high gear at her home, with mega tents being raised. Canonization service at her Kabuye Ndeje residence will start at 9 a.m. on 2nd November 2024.
The second phase of urban extension planning for cities hosting refugees has been launched with the European Union funding the program to a tune of $2.2 million. The plan, launched in Koboko district, aims to support integration and foster social cohesion within host communities. We have more.
In 2018, 15 billion shillings were injected into Koboko municipality under the European Union Trust Fund. These funds were allocated to support the implementation of sustainable urban strategies addressing health, education, and refugee response needs. The investment led to the construction of classroom blocks, markets, health facilities, abattoirs, and public toilets, among other infrastructure projects. These interventions have attracted people from neighboring countries, including South Sudan and Democratic Republic of Congo, with Koboko now hosting over 24,936 refugees.
Everybody wants to come to Koboko. Despite all this money that we've got, funds we've got, the pupil teacher ratio has not changed, desk grade has not changed. Actually, it is worsening. I must report. All these structures you're seeing, schools, health centers, doctor-patient ratio has increased. It even has worsened compared to 2018.
So all these are things which we should take into consideration. But thank you, European Union. What you have done is wonderful. And you are supplementing, you are complementing government what? Efforts.
I want to commend European Union and the government of Uganda that this model of giving funding direct to local government is the most effective. This fund is effective because it's able to fit into an existing structure.
The Minister of State for National Guidance, Godfrey Kabyanga, recently launched the Sustainable Urban Integration Project for displacement-affected communities in cities across sub-Saharan Africa, including Koboko and Arua in Uganda.
On behalf of the government of the Republic of Uganda, led by President Yoweri Museveni, let me take this opportunity to launch this program.
In the second phase, $2.2 million have been allocated, with a curve providing technical assistance to ensure the program's success.
And we're going to come up with projects, justify them, defend them, and it's going to be implemented. If you give us 4 years from now, you'll be very sure that we are going to have a similar circumstance like this.
Because the pace of work for such hybrid projects requires working beyond the normal call of duty. And so we'll engage in team building with Koboko municipal staff, together with the CAF and the local organizations that will be involved in implementation, so that we build a team that will deliver on this project.
So this essence of saying that there's no capacity in local government is a lie. We've proved the whole of Uganda wrong. We wrote this proposal ourselves local.
The project aims to support social integration between host communities and refugees sustainably. Local leadership in the district is focusing on enhancing livelihoods and facilitating integration between the host communities and refugees.
To skill. Skilling is priority number one. The second one is going to be livelihood, giving money to the women, supporting the circle, supporting small-scale businesses for people in the. And then the third one is going to be education. So education was first, but now it has become number 3.
The government has also been urged to revise its resource allocation formula to include specific components addressing refugees and migrants within host communities. Mutonyi Hilda and Ivan Kahwa.
UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but we return with more stories after these messages.
To be a winner, it requires that you exceed all the limits of mankind and womankind. But when you play with MTN Momo, winning is easy. Simply get your phone and use the Momo app or dial *165*3#, enter merchant code, enter amount, enter your Momo PIN, and pay. Congo! Congratulations, Your stomach is full, and now you stand a chance to win mobile money with MTN Momo.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy Wanawoli.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mold Technologies, your professional research firm.
Welcome back from that break. And now into the business scene. In Uganda, fear of risk is a barrier for many who shy away from starting their own businesses, leading some to seek employment abroad. Today, the Minister of State for Youth and Children Affairs, Balam Barugahara Atenyi, a well-known entrepreneur, encouraged youth to start small but aim high for business success. He was officiating at the Uganda Entrepreneurship Congress organized by Makerere University's Entrepreneurship and Outreach Center under the College of Business and Management Sciences.
Every successful entrepreneur has a unique secret to their success. Minister Balam Barugahara Atenyi shared with students the untold story of successful entrepreneurs around the world, inspiring the youth to pursue their own ventures.
When you're an entrepreneur, you identify the opportunities, which I did when I was here. Then also you take calculated risk. Imagine you organize a bazaar or a risk market and it rains. It's a risk, but then it's calculated. You say, what if it rains? Okay, in a small hole. Can the hole accommodate the numbers I want to break even? No. So you calculate your risks and you take the risks. Then you innovate and also solve problems. That's an entrepreneur for you. So it's very, very important to recognize that businesses should be bigger than us. That is very, very important. Some of you start small businesses, then you come like you're a boss, but not knowing the boss is the customer who works in. So what are you doing? So you have chased away money. You tell another person that that man sells good chargers, but he's arrogant. They will not come to you.
Dr. Sarah Bimbona, Director of Entrepreneurship and Outreach Center, emphasized that the Congress supports students to gain particular skills in business management even before they graduate.
So that creates a very rich entrepreneurship ecosystem. So we are so glad that you've been able to spare your time to come and be with us. This is the beginning, and we are going to have a full day here for learning and sharing.
The college principal, Professor Edward Bale, highlighted Makere's dedication to fostering students' innovation. He noted that the university's Innovation Hub is designed to help students develop their prototypes into fully fledged products that could contribute to the national development.
We receive and nurture inventions and innovations. We create a fertile ground for ideas to evolve into commercialized businesses. When ideas come up, they are not going to die. The entrepreneurship, the innovation hub is there to nurture, to guide, and also to commercialize.
The 2024 Entrepreneurship Congress themed Entrepreneurship as a Catalyst for Inclusive Growth, showcasing Makerere University's commitment to utilizing entrepreneurial talents and fostering innovations that can transform Uganda's economy. Joseph Buule, UBC, Makerere.
The Ministry of Health informs the general public that there are some cases of Mpox detected in Uganda.
The ministry, working with partners and affected district local governments, are doing their best to contain the situation. The signs and symptoms of mpox are body rash, fever, general body weakness, headache, sore throat, nasal congestion or cough, and swollen lymph nodes. You can prevent yourself from getting infected with mpox by avoiding close contact with people who have been confirmed to have mpox or who have signs and symptoms of mpox. Avoiding touching or sharing personal items like beddings, eating utensils, phones, or other belongings of a person who has the signs and symptoms of mpox. Avoiding contact, including eating, with all wild animals, alive or dead, especially those known to carry the virus, such as rodents and monkeys, and those that appear sick or have been found dead. Getting vaccinated if you're among those who have been identified to be at high risk of mpox infection. Mpox is treatable and usually goes away after 2 to 4 weeks. However, it can be severe, causing even death, especially among children, pregnant women, and those with other health conditions. For more information and support, contact your nearest health worker. Call the Ministry of Health's toll-free line on 0800 100 066 or send a free SMS to YouReport on 8500. It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Welcome back, and now into sports. Uganda Boxing Federation has extended the game of boxing to the corporate world with the introduction of corporate boxing. Now, through this initiative, musicians and socialites are given chance to box in amateur bouts, entertaining fans. Now, on December 26th, Boxing Day, Grenade and Rickman will box in a corporate boxing fight at Uma Showground in Lugogo. This will be the third and last corporate fight of the year.
Boxing has been known to be a ghetto sport. Boys say, Kamocha, and that's all. But now, if we penetrate the markets where Rickman belongs, where Grenade belongs, then the sport is really advancing, and we are giving more opportunities to people, to the young people out there in the ghettos, people in the uptown. So this is an acceptable sport that can be done everywhere. It is very safe, and it's good for everybody.
As President says that boxing is, yes, it's a very good sport, and we are here to launch a corporate fight. But also I would like to say that, yes, before the boxing, we need fitness and the health. And I'm sure that President has gone to many gyms, and after going to many gyms, they have choose Paradise Fitness City Gym and Spa, just because with the God blessings, we are one of the best gym in Uganda, and we have one of the best equipments which we are going to take care of all the corporate boxing.
This fight is not only a fight. This fight is not only a fight, but it's a call for support. We're here to support the sport as well, and also to settle unfinished business. Yes. So, yeah, we're here to settle unfinished business. We all know there's a lot has been said, a lot has been going on, and I think we shall find out in the ring, in the four corners, no way to escape.
And with that, our first edition of UBC News Tonight comes to an end. But do join us at 10 o'clock for our second edition with more stories. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto and my colleague Muhammad Mugalu in Sign Language. We will join you at 10.